Today's going to be working on the engine. Got a lot of things for it in the past few weeks, maybe a month or two. I actually took the motor home with me about a few weeks ago. I was just cleaning it. A lot of the threads were gunked up with paint because the motor has been painted. It's been my time at home just cleaning out the threads, getting certain bolts and studs that I need so I can make everything fit this time around. Waiting for my friend to get here so he can help me with a lot of these things, but right now I'm going to get this plate bolted on, or cut and paint it so I can put the handbrake back together. Friends here. First up is going to be the oil pan. First we have to tip this on its back in order to get to the bolts. I'm gonna get my impact on for that. I don't want to do that by hand. Taking off the oil pan and putting oil pickup and this, what do you want to call it? A baffle plate? Sure. Yeah. Putting on this baffle plate along with the oil pan. You want to start flipping this motor over?
You know, watch him struggle.
What are you talking about? You know I did this before, right?
Yeah, I know.
I was going to struggle. We are secured. Oil pickup. In order for us to put this on, the spacers has to come off. Find an Allen key. Big enough.
Why is everything you have stupid ass fucking hex?
Because you're acting like I bought that shit. I just bought the pan and it came with the hardware.
Yeah, I get that, but why?
Because they're Russian. This is Russian made.
You need to do everything. Or you just sit there and hold the camera.
Hey, unless you disappear, I'm gonna be the only one person putting the engine and transmission back up. So we got the pickup, then the spacer, and then we also have the gasket to make all of this work. And then he's going to torque it down to 37 foot-pounds.
37?
I just made that number up.
I was gonna say, 37 sounds like a lot, and it goes this way, right?
And being cranked down to 77 foot-pounds of torque. You know what? The funny thing is that if we would have went to your shop, I would have been doing the exact same thing. Just watching you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which I would have probably preferred to do it there.
Yeah.
Which is why I originally suggested it.
I was ready. The stuff was in the car. I was ready.
This wasn't in the car. I did not say I was.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Nah.
Yeah, you did. You said you could help.
Nope,
Yeah, you
you
did.
can handle this. It's so light. It's so light. You can handle this.
I never said. I said it was light.
You said you can handle this.
I said it was light, but I didn't say I didn't want.
You got it.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do it again.
Yeah, you said you got it. You said you know.
Like I've bench pressed 300 before. I'm not gonna. Why the fuck would I do it again? It's heavy.
Exactly.
It's the same fact that it's fucking.
Because you said
heavy.
you could.
Doesn't mean I want to. It said it was gonna be some jolly cooperation.
Nah, this ain't Dark Souls.
And it can't be.
I mean, that's turning into it. You doing all the work.
Hey, I did most of it. See, I couldn't do this. I could, but I'm nervous.
You're just lazy.
Not lazy. I'm just nervous. Dude. Like
Lazy.
No.
I'm probably not putting enough, to be honest.
But you know, though. You know.
I've never done this before.
You never put a gasket on before?
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to work on cars.
Yeah, that's the lies I tell people too.
What lies?
I don't work on cars.
Neither do I.
Oil pan on. I gotta come back to that in the future and fix some threads. But next up is the clutch. So we're gonna be torquing it down to 70 foot-pounds per flywheel bolt.
You want me to do the last one?
I got it, man, because you end up saying, oh, man, I did it all.
Well, I'm gonna say I did it all anyway.
Foot pan.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the last one.
I did that. The clutch company, Tilton, that I bought the twin clutch from, does not come with a alignment tool. So we're using a socket extensioner to get the clutches aligned. I forgot to mention, instead of going single clutch, going twin, so 2 clutches instead of 1. Right now we're getting everything wiped up and cleaned off so you can start getting things aligned so we can start putting the transmission and engine together. So this is the floater plate, that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Floater plate that sits between the clutches. So it goes pressure plate, clutch, floater plate, clutch, and then another floater. Trying to get this thing to fit. I asked if he needed help, and he said he doesn't know yet. But when he does, I'll be right here to help him.
Socket that fits.
Oh, he needs my help. This is it. Going with the torque again, he's going to be torquing it down to 18 pounds. Clutch, flywheel setup, transmission. We are going to make the engine and transmission together. I will be putting the engine trans back in the car. Then we might just call it a day. because
Or come back and do it some other day.
I'm putting the engine and transmission back in the car today. I'm not gonna go home and come back and this is not being in the car. After about 5 days pass being defeated by not being able to make the engine and transmission together due to not the splines matching up, turned out the clutch alignment tool that we need we can get one from a Subaru instead of a Nissan. Or we can get one from a Nissan and a Subaru, but we got one from a Subaru owner who happened to be down the street at a dealership. We're gonna borrow his tool to get this on. But first we're gonna end up taking this over to a friend's shop. He's gonna take care of the clutch and the oil pan. And luckily, because there's 2 of us here, it won't be that heavy.
Oh, I'm watching.
Okay, it's gonna be me doing this. But it's gonna be sheer willpower to get this stuff done. As the engine's off, with my buddy getting the work done, I thought that it would be a good time to explain the things that we are doing to the engine. Because we were having so much fun joking around, I don't think I quite clarified on the parts that's going in it and the reason for it. So, start off with the oil pan girdle or baffle plate. So if you have like a baffle oil pan, then you kind of know what this is. So the baffle oil pan pretty much traps the oil by the oil pickup to help with prevent oil starvation. So that's a good way, especially if you're going on the track or just taking some really hard turns, you don't starve your engine. Now, doing that helps a lot, but another thing that can do it is adding the baffle plate. Treat this container as an oil pan, your oil pan, and it's baffled. So the idea is to keep as much oil in where the oil pickup is at as much as possible. I say that, you know, outside of this is inside of the engine of the crank. When you're turning, you have a chance of like the oil kind of like going up and down on the sidewall of the engine, like a baffle plate. And you put it, pretty much you're putting a lid on the oil pan. So now when you're taking like high turns, you're pretty much trapping the oil you caught inside the baffle. So I wouldn't say eliminating chance of oil starvation, but it definitely lowers the chances even more with the baffle plate and the oil baffle pan. Next is the clutch disc. I don't have the clutch disc with me because it's with my friend, but I was originally going to go with the single disc, but doing some more research, plus I had the chance of driving stage clutch that I was going to go with, which was the stage 6, and it's really stiff. And I thought if I spend a couple more $100, I can get a twin disc and still have some type of comfortability with driving. Still hold the same amount of torque as the stage 6. Holds about maybe 500-600 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot for a rotary. With the twin disc, I think it holds up to, I think it's either between 7 to 1,000. So that's it. Friend's still working on the motor. I will be getting that back pretty soon. We'll be putting it back together and shoving it back in the car. Got the motor back. Transmission sitting right there. Was able to get the clutch on, and splines are correct. Was not able to get one of the bolt threads for the oil pan rethreaded, but that's okay. It's the front cover, so all I need to do is replace the front cover, but I'll do that another time in the future. Yeah, we're gonna start putting all this stuff together right now. Transmission has made it to the motor. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did to take this motor out and put it back in. Hopefully it'll be a lot easier. I mean, if I took it out before, I can do it again, right? Transmission engine is on the rollers. Since I am at this point and the engine's out the car, I thought it was a good time to install these oil block-off plates. So I have one right here and then there's another one somewhere. And I still got some Honda Bond that my friend left for me. Put these things on, then I'm gonna take a break and get some lunch because I am hungry. Break's over. Now it's time to put this car up as high as it can go. I do have to take off the shifter again because that's last time I got in the way, so I'm gonna take that off. And then I'm gonna start putting the car up. Motor is back in. And this took me a lot longer than I initially thought. Tired, I'm exhausted, and I just want to go home now. For the next few videos as I wait for the car to go back to the shop, I'm going to be putting majority of everything inside this garage back in the car. Some stuff that you haven't seen before, some stuff that's new. I do have some other ideas I'm going to be doing to this car as I wait. If you own an S2000, I might have some ideas for you that might work. So stay tuned for that.